Hello and welcome everybody to the newest place on the Grindavik portfolio. Welcome to Club Cadillac. This will be the hottest place on the Grindavik night scene. It's so good that we guarantee that you will miss work in the morning.
Synge sammen til segerskroppen áfram Grindavik. Og jeg vet, við magnum gerir dag.
Hi guys, I'm Aussie Villain and welcome back to Grindavik on The Impossible Dream. Today we have a transfer special as we move from Season 8 into Season 9. And it's going to be, as I say, a very, very good episode. I hope anyway. Now, there are a few ins that we know are happening. As a reminder, Depe, who we've had on loan for the last 2 years, he joined us on a permanent deal for 2.5 million. And we've got ourselves a sort of more defensively minded defensive midfielder, Frank Diana. So he joins us for 4.4 million from Marseille. Now, the other signing that is going to be new to you, because I haven't shown this before, it's only just happened in the last, I think just before last episode, to be honest, is this guy, Nellum. Now, he has joined us for 2.3 million from a Dutch club whose name I can't pronounce. And this is him. Now, we've seen, I think, that the wingers is going to be the better option for us in Europe, but equally, I think we needed another striking option as well. My hope is that this guy will be able to sort of fulfill both roles for us. He is left-footed, so he's a decent dribbler and crosser, but a really good finisher, good off-the-ball movement as well, anticipation and composure. He's got a lot of the attributes that I really, really like in a striker. So, as I say, I'm hoping that what's going to happen here is he will be able to cover for us on the left. If we happen to have a bit of a striking crisis, then he can go and play up front for us as well. Now, his career to date, he's only 23, but he has been playing quite a bit in the Dutch Eredivisie. Now, he hasn't got that many goals, but if we look at this most recent season, which is still ongoing, I suppose, but averaging 7.2, which is in the Eredivisie, that's quite good, isn't it? So, well, actually, no, that's in the second tier, so never mind. But yeah, he has done okay previously, averaging just below 7 in the Eredivisie. So I'm hoping there's a little bit of room for development for him, but he's gonna come in and he's gonna fulfill a role for us that we need right now as well. So we're not definitely done in shopping in that position, but I think he's going to do well for us. But in terms of what we've got to spend, we can see here we have got 9.7 million to spend. We have got wage budget is not an issue at all. Still got almost 100 grand a week on what we're committed to spending. So yeah, that's going to be absolutely fine. And the overall balance is 41 million, so we might even get a little bit more yet. We'll have to wait and see, won't we? So let's get this show on the road. And yeah, if you were looking for a drink, Club Cadillac is the place. Okay, we have our first bit of business of the window, and it is a loan signing, João Torre. So let's go with that. He is just on loan, as I say, from Villarreal. Now, let's have a quick look at him. You can see we're not paying too much. There's a monthly fee that goes up to 11, almost 12 grand if we don't play him. Really minimal wage contribution, considering we're getting ourselves a fairly decent right-sided winger. Now, my plan is that he basically comes in, and Svensson, who's on, he's played international caps now, he's on like 9 grand a week, which is ridiculous for what he is. This guy is a slight upgrade, and obviously on way, way less money. So, yeah, he'll be joining us, you can see there, February 22nd, and yeah, so we'll see what we get from him. 23-year-old Spanish kid, can dribble. That's what you need a winger to do, isn't it? So let's see. And he's, I think, crucially, I think better than what we've had previously. I'm trying to think who the wingers were. Viva, Kike Viva, and there was another one as well. He's got a better work rate and teamwork and vision as well, so he shouldn't be as selfish as those guys were. So yeah, that's one in. Alright, we have our second signing, and it is another winger, this time on loan from Manchester City. We are paying absolutely nothing for the privilege of getting him, which is fantastic. Rodrigo Higuain, let's have a quick look at him. And he's someone that I did try to sign on a permanent deal. Obviously, when Manchester City come in and we're competing with them, we're going to struggle a little bit, but left-sided winger this time, very good dribbler. He's well-rounded, actually, so I think he's going to do quite well. Only 18 years old, and yeah, look at that value. So he should, in theory, be quite good for us. So This means we now have, we've got two options on the left with the two new signings that are coming in, plus Thomason, who I might look to move on. Over on the right-hand side, we've got Toure, who we just signed, as well as Palacios, who's still around out on loan, and Icelandic can play either side as well. So I think in terms of wide players for Europe, we're looking relatively solid now. We've got okay strikers. The issue we have still is the ongoing is keeping players and keeping them happy. Rafason is unhappy with me right now, as you can see there. Alvarado is unhappy with me as well. He wanted to go out on loan to Bordeaux. So yeah, there's just a lot of unhappy players right now. Johnson is still unhappy, and yeah, just keeping these guys and keeping them happy is going to be the trick of the window, I think. Alright, we have our first departure. It is Georgi Gal. He's gone back to Stal Bucharest, or whatever they call themselves these days. 1.8 million. You can see there's some add-ons there, which potentially take it up to 2.7. Now, the reason I've sold him is we have way too many centre-backs right now. He's a fickle personality that hasn't really shown any signs of changing. And, you know, we signed him for 1.3 million, so we are making a $500,000 profit, plus potentially a little bit more. And he was the most disappointing, perhaps, of the centre-backs that we signed, and he was the first one I signed as well, if I remember correctly, so I probably wouldn't have signed him if I'd known what we were going to be able to get later on in that particular window. A couple of transfer specials are back. So he goes off back to Romania, and hopefully, if we see him again, he's on the end of a hiding. Look, mate, you're an okay player, maybe even above average, but your wage, mate, it's just too high. Dude, come on, you're on more than Baltinson and Godini combined. No, mate, you are not at their level. Not even in your dreams. Okay, we have another departure. Svensson has left 325 grand, which I'm absolutely fine with because there was no wage contribution, which could have happened. He's not a terrible player. He was just on too much money, and we're finding all the time better players. So he was solid. He played well when he played for us, I think. Yeah, I mean, average 7.73, so he wasn't a bad signing. He was just maybe not financially anyway, maybe my best signing. But the wages are gone. 300 grand in the bank. We'll take it. Alright, the transfer window has opened, but one player that will not be leaving is Neil Baltinson. He's happy at the club. We instantly offered him a new contract, a 5-year deal, important first-team player, and no release fee. So happy days on that one. Now, one player who has left, we had sold one of the youth academy graduates in Offjord. He is a left back. We have seen him from time to time in the first team. We have a lot of left backs that are sort of roughly at this level, and so I'm just trying to do a little bit of a clean out. So he has left 100 grand plus a 50% sell on because he could turn into a decent-ish player. But as I said, window is open, which means new signings have arrived. If I can go and find where they are here, we will see that we've got our right-sided winger in from Villarreal, so that's good news. We've got our left-sided winger in from Manchester City, Higuain, and he just looks better and better when I see him in a Grindavik shirt, I've got to say. And then the three signings that have actually come in, Diana. I still maintain he's going to be a good sort of defensively minded, ball-winning shield at front of the back four, particularly in Europe, so happy to get him in. We've got Nelum, our left-sided striker, let's say. Hopefully we'll do a little bit of both, though with the winger that we got in, probably looking at him more as just sort of second choice in a lot of positions, I think, but again, no regret signing him for 2.5 million. And Depe, permanently a member of the team now, 2.5 million for him, and he will become a club trained player in the next few months. So yeah, all very, very good, very, very good news. Still looking to strengthen. I'm thinking, as I said, left-sided fullback. I might like to do something there, and yeah, well, we'll see where we go after that. Alright, we have another signing, a permanent signing. Sonny Jonsson is his name. He's a promising fullback. He's Swedish, he's 18. We've paid just over $500,000 for him. And we'll have a quick look at his contract there. We can see it, $3.5 grand a week essentially as a breakthrough prospect. He will be a little bit more important for us than that. I usually try and minimize the agreed playing time so there's no pressure there. They're not going to become unhappy if they don't play. Let's have a look at him though. And yeah, he's a promising fullback, isn't he? Decent enough tackling and marking, positioning is all good. Physically, he's quite solid, good determination, and he's potentially going to be quite a good crosser of the ball as well. So if we consider ourselves Depe first choice in Europe, as with the flat back four, which is what I'm assuming my plan right now anyway, is to go back to that for this season, he's going to be a very good backup for that in that role, I think. So yeah, he'll develop a little bit hopefully between now and when the Champions League qualifiers start. So yeah, I think he could do quite well. His career to date, he's been at this Dørsgarden side, not played a game as of yet, but he'll play for us, and yeah, even if it is his backup, he'll certainly play some games, and I think he could do well. Alright, a little bit of squad cleanup means we have a double departure. Alvarado has left 175,000 up front, 50% of his next fee. He might make it. I'm just a little bit like, who's the other guy that we sold? Gull. I'm just not quite seeing exactly what I want to see from him, so we'll sell him on. We made a profit on him, I believe. Yeah, so we've made just not quite 100 grand on him. The 50% of the sell on will hopefully help, and yeah, again, not that he's been bad for us. I just feel like he could have been better. And the other person that is leaving, though not until July 1st, is Tobias Thomason. A little bit like the others, not quite developing how I would have liked. Now we are making a loss on him because we paid 450 for him. He's only 20. There is still a chance he can develop, and for his sake, I hope he does. But yeah, I just feel like he's never going to be registered as a Grindavik player in terms of qualifying, to be a club trained player, and that means he's just not quite good enough. So off he goes to Belgium. Alright, we are back with some very, very good news. Rafason is happy to stay at the club. We have offered him a 5-year deal, so hopefully he will accept that. But yeah, I mean, he's agreed it, he's just got to sort of formally accept it. So that is absolutely huge. And something else that has happened is Parisi is now happy to stay as well. So everybody is slowly coming back around to us. I think it just leaves Mosquera and Albert Jonsson as the two unhappy players. There might be one other one, but I think we've just about turned everybody around or moved them on. So yeah, that is some really, really good news. Now, as ever in the transfer special, we have been playing the Icelandic League Cup, so that has been ongoing. Let's see how it's been going for our first game in the group against KR. We took a first half lead when Jonsson picked out Baltinson, and it was Jonsson again who found Pedersen for our second, before Alvarado crossed for Baltinson to make it 3-0 at half-time. KR pulled one back. Before Baltinson completed his hat-trick. So not sure what Rafason was doing on the goal there for them, but at least he got that out of his system nice and early. But otherwise, we were just a little bit too good for them. You can see it's obviously before signings have come in as well. And other than Meshalak, it's a number 10 there. It was a very, very solid performance. Next up, we faced Vala. Astadi found Gadini to give us a second half lead, before Parisi made it 2-0. So we did enough in this one to get the win. Turpinson made his comeback from injury after many, many months and was injured again, so he's going to be missing for the next, almost the rest of this campaign. This campaign is in the League Cup, I should say. Don't have a heart attack there, Gary. But yeah, so he will be back, but just, missing a lot of game time right now. And otherwise, it was, we just did enough. That's no more, no less. Next up, it was Vestry. Debutant Higuain and Toure combined to open the scoring, and it was roles reversed to make it 2-0, before Toure got our third. So first game with the new signings, I did want to try and play as many of them as possible just to start and get a little bit of gelling going there. Yeah, the two wide boys looked very, very good. Nellam up front, not so much to be honest, but there's plenty of time for him to adapt. And Diana, as the sort of defensive midfielder there, looked quite solid as well. So yeah, a fairly decent performance from us this one. Next up, it was the newly relegated, of course, Breedeblink. Collar found Baltinson unmarked to open the scoring, but Breedeblink pulled level and then went ahead before half-time. It was 3-1 early in the second half, before Breedeblink added a fourth. Nellam found Bakali to pull one back. Before Bakali's block shot fell for Baltinson to make it 4-3. So, massively disappointing, and I think the reason for the disappointment here is that we gave some kids a chance in this one, and they didn't come through. The goalkeeper was sort of the young third choice. The second choice, or the backup, was injured, so that's why he didn't play. Hadartson was unusually poor for him, though he doesn't usually play in the back three like that. Severson at right back didn't have a great game. Gislaserin as midfield there, again, not having a great game. So, yeah, we changed things up. We came back into the game, but as you can see, it was all a little bit too late, wasn't it? So that meant coming into the final group game, we were tied on 9 points with Breidablik, so it was going to come down to goal difference. We faced Prota. Let's see how we did. Juleson crossed for Gardini to give us the lead. Higuain found Antonio unmarked to make it 2-0. But Prota pulled one back. Before Depe crossed for Gardini to seal the points. So we were just a little bit too good for them on the night, and as it turns out it was enough because Breidablik only managed to beat KR at KR 1-0, so it sent us into the semi-finals. We were facing IA now we were there, so let's see how we did against them. Bakali split the defence for Gardini to give us the lead. So yeah, an even game. It was much more even than the possession stats would suggest. They really did give us the game. You could argue, maybe finishing wise we weren't at our best. Almost certainly we weren't, and they were certainly not at their best. They had one shot on target from 12. But yeah, a tough game. But the important thing is that we came through it, which means we're in the final again. This time we were facing Folgner. We fell behind in the first half when Parisi was caught in possession. Higuain's deflected shot got us level. Before Mosquera's misplaced pass saw us fall behind again. So there we go, we lost the final. There's not too much to say about it, really. We just had a bad day. Jonsson missed a penalty in the 84th minute, which would have had us level again. Both the centre-backs were our best players, but they were responsible for both the goals. We just didn't seem to be able to pass the ball to each other. And other than that, we were pretty good, but yeah, disappointing obviously to lose the final. But anyway, that's done, and we can try and keep strengthening the squad now. Guys, I mean, I'm good, yes, but this is too much. Thank you. Hello, what's new, pussycat? Oh, I'm just standing on the green grass of home. Delilah, she's a lady, a sex bomb even, but I'll never fall in love again. Weird. No, mate, no, it's not unusual. Well, no, I'm out of them now. Welcome to the club, Tom. Alright, we have another signing, and this is not a signing I was expecting to make, but I think it could actually be maybe one of the best ones we end up doing. We have signed Tom Jones. No, not that one. We had signed Tom Jones from Manchester City, though, an 18-year-old complete wing-back, so a free transfer with a percentage of the next sale. I'm not quite sure why that's there. I don't remember. I think we just signed him as for anyway. It must be something to do with the sell-on clauses. Doesn't matter, because we're not planning on selling him, I don't think. Breakthrough prospect, £2,100 a week. You can see the other ins and outs of the contract there. Let's have a look at him. Old Tom Jones here, and you can see I think he's absolutely brilliant. He can play off either foot, so therefore he can play as a wing-back on either side. He's very, very good physically. He can already cross a ball. To be honest, if I'd seen him sooner, and if I'd known his contract was up sooner, I probably wouldn't have signed the promising left-back that we signed. But you can never have too many good players at your club, and this guy, I think, is definitely going to be a good player. He hasn't played for Manchester City, but that's not anything, a lot of players wouldn't play for Manchester City, would they? So, yeah, he's going to be a foreign player because he is a Welsh. Yeah, Welsh will still count as foreign, but he will become a club-trained player down the line as well in about 3 years' time. So, yeah, it's all looking good. I'm really happy with this one. All right, a little bit of news to catch you up on, and that is that we have two players heading off to the Under-20 World Cup. Parisi for Italy and the new man Johansson for Sweden. So that's obviously exciting for them. But the other thing we have to come back for is the Charity Shield equivalent in Iceland. We've just faced Vikingur in that. We, of course, have already lost one trophy this episode. Let's hope we don't lose a second. Parisi gave us an early lead. Toure picked out Baltinson's run to make it 2-0. Before Parisi got his second. And Toure picked out for Carly unmarked to get out fourth. But Viking have pulled one back before half-time. Higuain made it 5-1 early in the second half. And he then got on to the end of a Mashalek pass for our sixth. Before Parisi completed his hat-trick. So this was much more like it. It was what I sort of considered to be our first choice team. Maybe the difference would be whether this Deanna would play in front of the back four in Europe, which is probably what would happen. Maybe Antonio or Jonsson a little bit further forward. But absolutely brilliant. Iman and maybe Evel Mesquera probably both playing off each other to see who gets that spot next to Parisi in the defence as well. But yeah, really strong performance. Tom Jones at right back got his first game in and looked an absolute star. So yeah, very happy. So we do win a trophy this episode in the pre-season. There's hopefully some time to do a little bit more though before we call it an episode. So let's see what we can do. Alright, we have another signing, and this is not a signing that we need. It is a signing of opportunity because our scouts found Carlos Enrique playing in the Brazilian 3rd Division, and so we have signed a 23-year-old Brazilian goalkeeper for £110,000. He's going back to that club on loan for the rest of the season, and let's have a quick look. In terms of a fee, and that it should say it's $1,900 a week. He has signed as a backup, and with the proviso that once Rafferson moves on, which hopefully he never will, he will then become the first choice. So yeah, but as I said, let's have a look at him. This is very much one that I think we're getting a player very much undervalued, and we will hopefully the plan is to sell him on. The downfall, of course, is that he's a little bit fickle, but in terms of just being a goalkeeper, quite good. Very good, in fact. 196 centimetres tall as well, so he's not going to have a problem reaching crosses and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, as I say, we'll just see how he goes. Now, unfortunately, when I had the computer issues, I lost the name change thing, so all the Brazilian clubs have gone back to these stupid initials. But we can see he had a little bit of time in Serie A in Brazil. Didn't play consistently by any means, but it's gone down to Serie C, and I think he's worth more than that, basically. I think we could sell him on for quite a profit. So he's back on loan to the end of the season, which I'm assuming is going to be the same as our season, so the end of the calendar year. And yeah, we'll just see what happens. But yeah, I think down the line we're going to sell him on for a nice profit. And absolute worst case scenario, we haven't got a bad backup keeper there either, have we? Alright, we are at game day of our opening game of the league season, which is against Vela, but we do have one more signing. I can't help myself, can I? It's Alberto Ramos. We've signed him on a free transfer from Paris Saint-Germain. Now, he's not one for now. He's one that I probably wouldn't have signed, to be honest, if it wasn't a free transfer. Again, there's annoyingly a percentage of the next fee that goes there, but that's probably just part of the rules of football. 1,900 again a week we're paying him, and as a breakthrough prospect. And this is Alberto. He is a decent enough right back. Physically, maybe a little bit of pace could be needed, but decent tackling, decent marking, positioning, can cross the ball. So there is a lot to like about him as someone to get forward and support the attacks for us. He has not played in Paris's first team, which is not surprising. Has played a little bit in their second team, which is probably still a good standard, to be honest. And yeah, so he'll come in. He'll be an under 19 for this season, and then we'll kind of see where he goes from there. Of course, he will be probably available in Europe. He's not one that's going to be registered in the league, though, because he's going to have to take up a spot, and we don't have any spots to register him. But that's why we signed him as a breakthrough prospect. So let's have a look at what we have to start the season. And I think we're looking okay, if I'm honest. Now, if we have a look here at the goalkeepers, Rafferson is obviously the number one man. He is happy again. He signed a new contract. That is excellent news. Hafthor is coming along quite nicely. He's the current backup. And, of course, the man we have signed to be the backup is Carlos Enrique here. He's out on loan right now for the season. And, like I said, he is probably one we'll just look to sell on for a profit. But he's going to be a good option in Europe, if nowhere else, as that backup. And then, of course, we do still have Adal. We signed him from somewhere. He is really not actually training on as well. For someone who was young, has a balanced personality, was expected to have a little bit of potential about him, we're certainly not seeing it. So he's around for now, but I don't think he has a future with us once we get a few other backups in. So right now, he would be third choice at the club. If we go over to left back, Depe, a permanent signing at the club now. got a cat hair up my nose, which is always annoying. I think I've always liked Depe. I just think he's very, very solid for us. So happy to have him permanently. Sonny Johansson, he is the backup for him. He is away at the Under-20 World Cup right now, so hopefully Sweden aren't away for too long at that, and he can come back. Tom Jones will be, I think, primarily we'll look to use him as the right back, but he can play off both feet and is a very, very good prospect. And then Collar as well came through the academy. He is club captain, I think, or vice captain with a leadership of 18. Not really training on how I would have liked, but the fact that he's an academy player means he will be with us for the foreseeable future, to be honest. So that is that. Mortensen could be a backup, but he's more of a centre-back. Over to right-back, as I said, Tom Jones is, I think, first choice in that position for now. We've got Juleson, who did a really good job for us last season when Kidlin left. He's only 20 still, so yeah, really, really liking what he's doing. Severson, club-trained academy player. He is looking as though he's going to be a good prospect for us. And the next man off that academy prospect train is Paul Valtson, and again, not quite as good as Severson, but only 17, and there's still a little bit to like about him as well. If we go to centre-backs, I've just kind of piled them all into this side. Immonen is a very good player. Leadership of 16 as well, which had passed me by. He is probably a season or two away from being club captain, if I'm honest. We've got Parisi again away at the Under-20 World Cup with the Italians. Hopefully, he'll be back sooner rather than later. We've also got Mosquera. Now, he is happy again, and I think we've offered him a contract. He's just waiting for him to sign it, so that is good. Mortensen, he is being offered a new contract. He was initially going to consider his options at the end of his deal. We've been managed to talk him around from that. Hardardsson, we've seen him play for the Gags. He is an unexpected one. We weren't expecting him to be a 3 or 4 star potential player, so that's good. And one of the other stars of the academy, he is Bjorn Ornatsson, potentially 4.5, 5-star player. Excellent stuff. He will be probably for the Gags this season because I don't think he's going to be registered quite yet. Then the new man here can play centre-back, but we have signed him more so for Europe than the league to just be that defensive shield in front of the back four. So yeah, we will see him more so in Europe. We might even use him as a centre-back in the league despite the jumping reach of 3. If we go down, we've got Antonio. Haven't sold him as of yet. He's one of those, he's still very useful. If we could get 2.5 million for him, I would probably sell him because we have a lot of players in this position, and I do want to try and make sure we have Icelandic players, and one of those is Albert Jonsson. He is training the house down, potentially going to be even, I don't know how close we get to world class here, but a very, very good central midfielder. Another one we've offered a new contract to, so hopefully he'll be signed up long term. Turpinson is back from injury. Hopefully we'll see a little bit of him this season. And yeah, I mean, he's dropped down the pecking order just from other players coming in, really. Other men to play here is Gussarasen. He is another of the academy players, 18. He's getting very close to being ready for the first team. Ingvason, who has always sort of been around the Gag side, more so maybe than the actual senior side, but yeah, again, you can see he's falling down the pecking order, not because he's a bad player, just because others are coming through that are better. And Gudmundsson, he has continually just, again, fall down this pecking order. He might be one that I'm willing to let go out to somewhere else in the league. The issue is that no other league clubs are coming in for them, I think, because they don't think that they'll be able to get them. But I'm happy to pay wages, I'm happy to loan them out for free, but we just need other teams to come in. So we'll have a little bit of a go at getting Gudmundsson out on loan somewhere for the season. And I'll pay everything. I'll pay his wages. Just somebody use him for me. If we look a little bit further forward in midfield here, again, I've just kind of lumped everybody into this one side. Bakali, he is back from the Asian Cup, and we haven't found anybody yet to play this role better than him. So he's had a lot of interest from MLS, which I find weird. Looks like that interest may have come to an end. But yeah, very, very high demand player, but I do not want to let him go. Mashalek, I'm hoping for more from him this season. You can see attribute-wise, he should be better than he played for us last year. He speaks the language now. That's happened through the special today, so hopefully that'll improve his performances. Again, we've seen Antonio already. Albertson we've seen. Who else have? Olmarkson. Now, he's come in for a little bit of interest from Middle Eastern clubs. It looks like from Spain there as well. A few different ones, actually. He's currently unhappy, I believe. He is a very good player. Just lacks a little bit technically, perhaps, but I don't want to sell him again. Another one of these gags. Yeah, he is unhappy still, but we'll try and keep him around as much as we can. And the other one here we haven't seen is another one of these academy prospects coming through is Bjornsson. Not quite for this season. We could even look to loan him out somewhere, but I like the youngsters as much as we can staying with us, because we're still the only professional full-time team in Iceland, so I don't like loaning them out because obviously they're not going to train as much. If we have a look at the left wing, Higuain, I'm expecting really good things from him, and he's still improving as well. 18 years old, we'll have him as long as Manchester City will let us have him. Nellam is one of the new signings, partly to play on the left. He would have been first choice over here, I think, had it not been for Higuain popping up as an option. But yeah, as either hero or striker, he's going to be a good option for us. Josefsson, I think he's going to do well for us. I think he'll be the gag to play out there this season as well. And yeah, really think he could do well for us. Icelandic can play out here. He's right-footed, so we'll predominantly see him over on the right. He is registered in the league squad, though, for this season. And the last man that's really an option here is Hendrickson. He is club-trained, obviously, so he will be an auto-registered player that can be an option for the league as well. Bakali is left-footed, so he can play out here. It's not where we want to use him, though. Over on the right-hand side, João Torre is the main man here. I'm expecting some good things from him on loan from Villarreal, of course. Icelandic will be his backup. And if we go down, Dagbajatsen, one of these guys that's come through the academy, we might need to loan him out, though he will be first choice amongst gags, so we'll need him for the cup as well. Gadini can play out here. Palacios is out on loan right now, but he is continuing to train well and will be back at some point, hopefully for the European campaign, I'm thinking. Anybody else here? Pedersen, don't really, I think he's more of a striker, to be honest, like a deep lying forward type. He's training well. He's only 17, so we'll give him a chance. And Hendrickson, again, left-footed, but he can play out here. If we look at the strikers, we've got two that I wouldn't split them as first choice. Baltinson, who's happy at the club again and signed on for the long term. Gadini as well. I think they're both considered star players, but as I say, they're both absolutely brilliant for us. Nellam, we've already seen him as an option. And then Sigtryggsson, we're keeping him around. He's a gag, so he'll be back up on that front to Baltinson, but he lacks pace. Otherwise, though, there's a lot to like about him as a striker. Just he has those sort of specific stats that you need. But yeah, he does need to work on his pace a little bit. And then that is everybody that we've seen. So there we go. That is the transfer special done. If you've enjoyed that, thumbs up, subscribe if you're new. We still have a lot of money to spend. We signed a lot of guys on sort of free agents and that kind of stuff. So still almost 10 million in the bank if we need to spend it. We get 80% of the revenue as well. And in terms of the wage budget, we still have the best part of 100 grand a week to spend there as well. So we are by no means at our ceiling, but I didn't want to go and sign too many players because I think we signed a lot of young players last season. They're developing. They should be better this season just by the fact that they have got that extra year's experience. And if you go and have a look, you can see we've actually brought more money in than we've spent as well. A couple of outs, just in case I've missed anything as we go here. We knew Cadillac Gal had left. Svensson has left at his massive wage. We showed you him. A couple are going out on loan. Bjornsson is going to what are they called? Folgner, or however you say that. So he'll be playing in the Premier Pepsi League this year. Jorgensen has gone off to the second tier. He's a centre-back that the scouts got it wrong on him, and he's not really developing for us. But again, happy to loan him out to the league. Lubasic has left permanently. He was not developing. It says he was a winger, but I don't know what he is, so we've sold him. Someone I would have liked to have kept in the league, but he's gone. I think that's Sweden. Alvarado, we know he's gone off to Sweden as well for 175 grand. He was unhappy. He's temperamental, so he can go. Ragnarsson, who was one of the strikers we signed, he's gone off to KR on loan for the year, so he'll be playing in the Pepsi League. Hopefully he does well there for them. Ostadi, we've loaned him out for the year with the incoming Tom Jones. He wasn't going to play that much, so we've loaned him out and hopefully he will play. Still think there's a very good player there, but he's not. Yeah, he needs to be playing to see that development through. And Enrique we've seen, and we've loaned off another youngster to our affiliate KFA in whatever they are, the third tier or whatever. So that is everything. I will see you next time for the opening games of the season against Vela and IBB. As usual, we will sort of rotate the squad, have a look at everybody, and yeah, hopefully do well. You can see pre-season has done quite well, except for the final of that cup, which was a little bit annoying, wasn't it? So Until then, I've been Aussie Villain. Thank you guys. Take care.